Alright, we are probably live. Twitch will let us know shortly. Anyways, first order of business today. I was planning on streaming this evening, and it's morning, at least my time. I meant evening my time too, though, so that's not really an excuse that it's evening somewhere. My schedule for today changed a bit, and I decided I'm either streaming now or probably not at all today, so I decided to stream. I apologize to anyone who I mentioned I'd be streaming later. I'm streaming now. You can catch it on YouTube. It's probably fine, and I'm going to be streaming more often, I decided, so you can catch me later. Anyways, changes I made to the deck recently. Roast moved from the sideboard to the main board to make a little more room in the side. That slot was taken by a ceremonious rejection because I want to destroy Tron decks. I've been seeing a lot of Tron lately, and I want to counter all their very annoying dudes. And then subsequently kill them with 3/2s and 4/4s and 5/6s and bolts to the face. Other changes, the third Mishra's Bauble became a curious obsession because a few other people on this deck who I discuss with have been playing the card, and they've liked it so far, so I want to give it a shot. Curiosity is my favorite card. Not for what it does, but for flavor reasons, because I just like it a lot, and this is its spiritual successor, so I'm gonna try it out, that's for sure. And we have one more Tarfire over the Curator of Mysteries. I didn't really want to go 25 instants and sorceries with only 2 Mishra's Baubles, and 7th Burn Spell seemed like a good idea. So, let's hop into the league. Let's just throw it back on the deck while we wait. Vendilion Click, I have cast once at this point. Couple tournament practice matches I think I cast it in. I kinda like it, I don't know yet. We have an opponent, so that's fun. Let's play some Magic. On the draw, this hand's a keep. It's not necessarily great. They mull to 6. Spell Snare is good against most of the field. Burn spells are going to be very nice against aggro decks, and we have a Delver, so that counts for something. When in doubt, just get the opponent dead. This looks like a green-black X deck. Thoughtseize. Delver or Nux, probably. Assuming they have a bunch of pushes, I would take Nux. Maybe Spell Snare to make sure a Goyf resolves. Then again, that all depends on what their hand is. Probably not taking the burn spells. BGX is a little bit of a weird matchup because burn spells are great against the likes of Dark Confidant. Let's lead on this Wooded Foothills. Don't really want to show them the Flooded Strand that they don't know about. I'd rather have them sweat a bit. Burn spells are great against Dark Confidant. Scavenging Ooze if you can nab it before it grows. That's a little suspicious. We're going to get something tapped here. Probably a Steam Vents. Traverse. I think we hold off on that. I don't really want to Tarfire their face and then Traverse out a threat. That seems a little loose. Just because they shocked there, I kind of feel like we're up against Traverse Shadow. And I don't really want to help the opponent at all, as far as getting their life total down goes. So I think we're going to leave them alone for a bit. Little awkward. That's just the kind of gameplay Death Shadow causes, though. Not much you can do about that. Given the choice between helping the opponent and doing nothing, I think I'm going to do nothing. At least we get to hold up Spell Snare, maybe Tarfire them on the end step here. Kind of makes me wish I led on the Flooded Strand, at least for this turn, because then we could get a Breeding Pool tapped, untap, play the Misty, get a Forest, and have double green. So we could traverse out a nice juicy threat. Here's another Thoughtseize. It's definitely a discard deck. Death Shadow, fantastic. Now, they played that out knowing we have Tarfire and Forked Bolt, so I'm almost expecting to see some Street Wraiths from them. But I also don't really want to let this live without us having a couple more card types in the bin, so I'm going to go for it anyways. Let's grab probably Breeding Pool. Although we could just get the Stomping Ground and then shock for the Breeding Pool with the Flooded Strand, so that might be better. That way we can still get double green if we want to. Thought Scour, does that change things? I think I want to get my threat immediately and jam it. Which threat though? Maybe just a Hooting Mandrills. Mandrills and Goyf are both going to get wrecked by Liliana. However, Mandrills is very resistant, actually immune to Fatal Push, and that's a pretty big upside against these kinds of decks. We could get a Mandrills. Delver seems like a bad idea. I almost wish that we had the Knuckleblade in the deck so we could still get that. Snapcaster Mage isn't the pick. Let's get a Mandrills, and we can even hold up spells. That sounds good. Creatures are pretty likely to die, so I think we can easily get rid of those. We already have a Sorcery in hand. I'm just thinking about the second Traverse and keeping Delirium on. Technically Tarmogoyf too, but their graveyard's gonna help with that. Sorcery or land. Sorceries are a little less common, so I think we're gonna go with that. Hold up Spell Snare, probably end up Thought Scouring on the end step, in all likelihood. Well, we may as well get the Spell Snare out of our hand. And we have a Goyf of our own. Cool. We're gonna slam that. And I don't think I want a Forked Bolt yet. I kind of want to wait just a little more. That's pretty much the reason why I wanted to wait just a little more. We're gonna Thought Scour here. And now we might go for broke and try to kill them. Serum Visions. Misty. Let's get an island. Cast that. Traverse Mountain. We can traverse out a Snapcaster Mage. Cast the Mishra's Bauble. If we swing here, they take 5. No, they know about Forked Bolt. If they have a Denial, they're probably willing to take 5. I almost want to wait. Not do anything. If we attack them with both creatures, there's a pretty good chance we're just dead on the crackback. If they have a Denial, they're probably willing to take 5 off the Goyf. Shadow becomes an 11/11. I don't think they run Bolt, but they might. I could also see Collective Brutality as a little bit of reach. Then again, if we don't attack, we give them a chance to make a land drop. Maybe they have Liliana of the Veil in hand. If we swing, we're definitely losing a creature, and we're susceptible to the crackback. I kind of just want to wait. I also almost want to Forked Bolt them here to get it out of our hand. That way we can traverse Snap Bolt next turn. But if they follow Shadow up with another creature, I'm going to wish I attacked on this board. I'm going to swing. We might be dead, but we're probably losing the long game. If they have a Fatal Push, I'm probably just going to cry. That block suggests to me that they do not, in fact, have a Fatal Push. We're not going to crack the Bauble yet, because I don't want them to Thought Seize away our Traverse. So we're going to hope we're not dead. Verdant Catacombs, they can go pretty low. Oh boy, they might still have the Denial. We're going to crack this now. Take a look at their top card. Mana Leak. That makes me want to act immediately. Traverse and Simic Charm. That is extraordinarily tempting. What can we traverse out here? Another threat, perhaps? I really want to try bouncing this Shadow, because if they don't have a counter in spell, we win on the counter in hand, we win on the spot. If they have to crack this Catacombs, Forked Bolt kills them, but they already know about the Forked Bolt, so I don't think they're doing that. See if we can bounce this. I don't think they run anything like Go for the Throat. There we go. So, Sultai Shadow, maybe splashing red, who knows. Let's pull up the sideboard sheet and find Traverse Shadow over here. There we go. Alright. I am boarding in. Click. I want the Blood Moons, Huntmasters, EE, Basilisk Collar, Not Deprived. Spreading Seas might be okay. I don't know about Spreading Seas. Do I recommend it to myself? I do apparently recommend it to myself. We'll see about that. 9 cards. 4, 9 come in. 2 Mandrills out. Dismember I would want. I'll just go off the spreadsheet. Going back and forth between thinking and just doing what I told myself to do. A little awkward. Forked Bolt and a bunch of counters. 2 snares, 2 leaks, 1 denial. Do I like that? I like cutting counters against these discard decks because counters are really bad when A, they know about them and know exactly how to sequence their spells so that every counter in your hand is dead, and B, they just rip away all your pressure and you're left with a bunch of counter spells and then they resolve something and slowly just kill you. Really unfortunate situation. So I don't think we want to let that happen. Spreading Seas I'm not sure on, just because we've seen that they're quite a blue deck. I don't like it against Grixis Shadow, because they like their blue mana a lot. Against Traverse, I guess it could be good. For one, it makes Liliana a little worse, because they're a little more dependent on double black. If we're not bringing in this Spreading Seas, I think it's another Mandrills that I would want. But I'm not sure on that. Dismember and Roast I still like, even though I don't believe Traverse Shadow runs any Delve threats. It still kills most Tarmogoyfs, or at least a decent portion of Tarmogoyfs. I should know. Goyfs become 5/6s at least a fair proportion of the time. Do I like this? I think I want Denial as my counter of choice here. They do run a non-zero amount of Snapcaster Mage. I like Snare much more against Shadow because of Snapcaster Mage, but Denial hits Liliana, Fatal Push, Teamer Battle Rage, all sorts of fun stuff. I'm going to run this. I don't think I've played against Traverse Shadow for at least a little while. How is our hand? It's okay, but it could be a lot better. I think this is worth keeping, so we're going to do it. We're pretty decent against discard, I think, because of how redundant the hand is. Traverse could get us Blood Moon mana without much of a problem. Well, we didn't even need it, so there's that. I think we're going to grab a Steam Vents here, and I don't know if I want to lead on Delver of Secrets. I don't want to lead on Traverse because that represents a threat later on. I want the Steam Vents. Delver means more pressure. Visions means better cards. I'm going to wait on Delver. We're not in a huge rush just yet. Sure, that's fair. I don't really like countering early game Visions, but they could also just be assuming that we kept a very greedy hand and needed that Visions to resolve. I do that, at least somewhat often. And 5/6 Tarmogoyf. Huntmaster, going to be good eventually. We're going to slam Delver here, and Misty will help with Stubborn Denial, maybe Thought Scour. We're going to have to figure out a way to deal with this Tarmogoyf, though. And I'm not sure there's a clean one. 5/6 Tarmogoyfs are really hard for us to kill. If this is a Liliana, we're just going to denial it on the spot. They haven't looked at our hand yet. It's another Tarmogoyf. Oh dear. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can't interact with any of that. Let's get an island. Blood Moon doesn't look like it's going to do anything at all here. Scour into Scour, turnover Bolt Nux, alright. Spreading Seas won't get revealed. That's another card that's not doing much on this board. We're at 11, so we need to chump. If they have any removal, we can't. I don't really want to traverse out another Delver of Secrets to block. Then again, even if we get a Tarmogoyf, are we doing anything on this board? We chump, we go to a round 2, and Goyf can't block 3 creatures. No, it most certainly cannot. Spreading Seas isn't going to do much. I think we're going to scoop here. We have basically no chance of winning. How do we possibly win? We chump, and we hit EE plus a land, which means we need to traverse out a land so we can draw the engineered explosives. We chump block one of the Tarmogoyfs, we go to 2. If they have any removal, we're dead regardlessly. What are the chances they don't have any removal? Pretty low. Even if we do pull off the EE play, they still have the Death Shadow. Yeah, we're just dead. I'm gonna scoop so that they don't see any of our sideboard cards here. I don't want them to know we have Spreading Seas or Huntmaster. Huntmaster is a lot less relevant there, but playing Spreading Seas on that turn is actually somewhat enticing. We're going to be on the play, and I don't want to end up playing it if we're just going to die anyways. This hand is neat. 4 lands is almost always a mulligan pre-board, but post-board our curve is much higher. However, against a discard deck, they take our Mandrills, we Spreading Seas a land, we're left with Bolt. Or they take Spreading Seas, just kill or counter Mandrills. Then again, mulliganing against these kinds of decks is also bad. I think I'm going to do it anyways. And we got kind of punished. This also is a mulligan. That's a keep. Bottom that because we're quite a long way from it. I arguably like this hand more than our 7, though. It's certainly not great, but I mean, we have multiple threats. Bauble could represent a land later on. It's easily better than that 6. Then again, a jab in the eye with a sharp stick might be better than that 6. Mishra's Bauble, did they look at ours or theirs? They might just be shuffling here. Yeah, they went for the shuffle. Nice Bauble Scry. Traverse, sure. Make sure you hit your land drops, I can appreciate that. We're going to Bauble ourselves as well. See if we can get this Delver to transform. Nux is the card we scried to the bottom, right? And then we shuffled it back in. Delver's going to hit the stack first. Mishra's Bauble, well, their Bauble's going to go. Our Bauble's going to draw us a Knuckleblade. Hopefully Delver's going to transform. It does. And we're pretty locked into firing off this Visions immediately. Bolt, Scour, Denial. We're going to hope to find some lands. These burn spells not doing much. Then again, the burn plan does come up pretty often against decks like this. Comes up pretty often against every deck ever. Land, Traverse. That is awkward. We're going to pass. I wonder if we should have gotten a breeding pool. I think we should have gotten a breeding pool. That way islands and mountains are live to let us cast Tarmogoyf. Yes, Tarmogoyf. I don't think I want to make that a 6/7. Speeds up their clock by a turn. Let's not do that. Flooded Strand. Well, that speeds up their clock by a turn anyways. Just because we're going to take some damage here. I'm going to hope they don't have pretty much anything. Shadow's not that scary at the moment. Liliana, Fatal Push, Abrupt Decay. They're probably not running Terminate. What else terrifies me? Fatal Push. That's an easy one, though. Flooded Strand. We could play Nox. We can play Nox. I think we play Nox. Either we play Nox or we traverse for something. Because this isn't a Scalding Tarn, we can't get a Stomping Ground traverse out another Tarmogoyf, or Mandrills, or Huntmaster, or whatever else you would like to traverse for. We're either casting this traverse, or we're slamming Savage Knuckleblade. Which one's better? Knuckleblade means next turn we can block the Tarmogoyf. We've already seen Abrupt Decay at least a couple times, though, and I'm not exactly excited to grow this Knuckleblade to a 6/6 just to have it get decayed. Then again, that might be our only play. We can fetch out a basic island, play Knuckleblade, or we traverse, get a Tarmogoyf, play the Flooded Strand, pass. Neither play is that appealing. They're either holding up Mana Leak or their hand is bad. In either case, well, if it's a Mana Leak, whatever we play gets countered. Tarmogoyf, Knuckleblade. I think I'd rather have a Tarmogoyf sometime soon. If I knew I had a 4th land, I'd probably go for Huntmaster. A lot of things kill us here. Decent threat. Removal spell to stop our Goyf once it lands. Liliana. Thoughtseize. Well, Thoughtseize doesn't quite kill us because we'll still have 1 threat. 2 Thoughtseize. Or even 2 Inquisition. Either way. Whatever works. I like that the opponent's playing around Blood Moon with that fetch, because they pretty easily can. They're going to traverse for another Tarmogoyf. That's not bad. That is decent. That's certainly a play you can make. I also enjoy Traverse Snap. Well, actually, I like Traverse Snap more than Snap Traverse. But, hey, what are you going to do? Thank you. Do you have a teamer list? Let's see, Shadow instead. Well, that works too. 5/5 not quite as good as 5/6 though. We are just totally dead here, right? Well, we're gonna play anyways, but I'm pretty sure we're dead. That tapped. We Tarfire this. We slam Tarmogoyf. And we somehow top deck something that saves us from their other threat. Snapcaster Mage is not that card. What do we do? Snap Visions is bad. Slamming Goyf is kind of bad. I think we're going to play the Goyf and hope they just don't attack. Another land and we could have flashed in the Snapcaster Mage. Still dead to any removal spell. This is probably just not a very good matchup. I certainly like this matchup less than Grixis Shadow. Death Shadows and Tarmogoyfs are just generally hard for us to kill. Tarmogoyf, debatably harder for us to kill than the likes of Delve threats. It's also easier to bounce Delve threats, or at least more profitable. And Grixis just has less redundancy, I think. This deck has 4 Shadows, 4 Goyfs. Mishra's Bauble helps. Traverse probably a little better. Hostage Taker. That is a little spicy. I kind of... Oh, that's a Traverse target. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And even if we bolt that to get back our Goyf, we're still dead. We tried. We tried. Combat damage, -8. -8's not bad. Yeah, Gnarlwood Dryad. I haven't played it very much. I played it very little, but it is nice. I played Narnum Renegade for a bit, and I totally agree Death Touch is great, especially on 1-drops. We're dead, but they don't seem to be going to damage, so we're just going to scoop. And let's pull up OBS so we can change what that header says. '01. I'm going to try to remember to update that a lot more often than I did last time, because I was pretty bad for that. Well, match 1 in. Not sure. Should we have kept that 7? It wasn't good. I don't even remember what the 7 was exactly. I think I'm going to have to rewatch that. We're on the play. We'll be on the play. We can traverse out an island or mountain, so I don't hate this hand at all. I think we're pretty much traversing out a mountain. I want to have that bolt available if we're up against an aggro deck. Then again, I'd rather have an island against just about anything else, but aggro's the kind of deck that punishes you for not finding your lands on time, so we'll hedge against that. Alright, Tron. Chromatic Star. Well, it wasn't an expedition map, so there's that. That is upside. We're going to slam this Delver of Secrets. And I'm going to play this mountain, which I'm wishing was an island right now, but I still think I made the right choice. I'm going to stand behind that. If we had the visions in hand, that would have been a completely different story. But as is, I'm happy with the play. Land, Ancient Stirring, Sylvan Scrying. What are you going to do? They have Tron. Walking Ballista. Ooh, that's not bad. They do not have Tron. Delver's dead, but at least they lost their dude too. Misty, that means we can slam Mandrills here, and there is pretty much no chance we're doing anything else. Kind of wishing we draw a Bauble there. Bauble's on top, naturally. I kind of really want Mana Leak. I also want Bauble. We're going to play Tarmogoyf first, I think. Just because that's good sequencing. I was hoping to draw a Bauble there so we could crack it. Play Mandrills, never mind. We have this mountain. We still wouldn't have been able to hold up Stubborn Denial. Nothing matters, except that they do not have Tron online yet. Let's do it. We have a game. Relic. Alright, we're going to untap and slam that Mandrills. Yeah, we're not going to have Mana Leak up, but it's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Don't worry, sir. I will shrink that pesky Tarmogoyf for you. I know how annoying those things can be. I don't want you to have to deal with that. 2 mana 4/5s are just not fair. Well, actually, it's going to get smaller. 2 mana 1/2s. Good old 1/2s. Well, they're not at 20. And that's something. We still have Denial up. Wormcoil Engine is pretty close to being lights out, and they have Tron. Is that an Ulamog? That's an Ulamog. Do we just scoop? Ulamog is almost always lights out for us. What can we do against Ulamog? Mishra's Bauble. To be fair, I knew I was drawing that. What do we do against Ulamog? Do we have an out? Even if we chump block that indefinitely, we're dead in 5 turns just to our library. And if we churn through those top 6 cards, you know what, which we probably will, we're basically dead in 4 turns. Yeah, rest in peace indeed. I'm pretty sure we're dead, but you know what? It's not like the clock is going to be an issue, so I'm going to give them the chance to show us some more fun cards. We already know their main decking Relic. We saw Walking Ballista, which I don't know they always run, but I think they usually run a non-zero amount of it. Each run obviously runs the full 4. Pretty much the card that makes the deck. What do we got? To be honest, if I'm them, I almost want to exile the 2 threats, but I don't think it really matters. Walking Ballista for 3, I guess they want to kill Tarmogoyfs. That's fine. Now we know that they're running 2 Walking Ballista at minimum, and I think that's pretty interesting. We're gonna scoop. We're gonna scoop. Don't look at those cards. Don't think we scooped in time there. Very much don't believe we scooped in time, because the opponent can stay in that game. We should have conceded slightly earlier once attacks were made. Green, Tron, they might not be on green-black, but green-black and green mono-green are quite similar, so I'm going to board the same way regardlessly. Snapcaster Mage is a bit slow. Dismember, Roast, Simic Charm probably stays. Does Simic Charm stay? Simic Charm doesn't stay. Hexproof, very handy against Ulamog, but you're probably dead regardlessly, so it doesn't really matter that much. We're going to board out a couple of burn spells. I do like my top deck burn spells in the late game, but I don't want them early on. 2 Spell Snares and a Mana Leak. The Mana Leak I'm iffy on. 2 Spell Snares. They don't have that many 2s. Walking Ballista, I guess, helps with that. But other than Walking Ballista, it's probably just Sylvan Scrying, maybe Collective Brutality. And even if we pretend they have 8 in total, that's not great. That's really not very good. And I don't know if I want to cut this Mana Leak. I do want Destructive Revelry, Ancient Grudge, Blood Moons, Spreading Seas, Ceremonious Rejection, Vendilion Click. And I believe there's a 9th card that I usually bring in exchange for that Mana Leak. It's Deprive. I do like Deprive more than Mana Leak, although having Deprive, Vendilion Click, and Blood Moon could be a bit of a problem, but I think I want to do it anyways. It hasn't come up for me yet, so besides theory, I have no idea if that's actually going to punish us. Do I like something less than Mana Leak? Nux isn't exactly good, so that's certainly on the chopping block. I want Curious Obsession here, because I just want the engine to roll and draw us into all kinds of counter magic and disruption. I think I want all the cantrips. I want to be fast. Not cutting Mandrill, so it's pretty much Leak or Nux. I don't really want to cut any more Bolt effects or the Traverses, which essentially are late game counter spells and bolts because they get this Snapcaster Mage, or it just helps us find our lands or threats more efficiently. Serum Vision stays, Delver stays. It's Leak, Nux. Maybe I don't want the Deprive, but I feel like I do want the Deprive for the late game when they have Tron. I'm going to cut this Mana Leak and just upgrade our Disruption instead of strictly boarding in more of it. We're going to be on the play. Naturally, is this hand a keep? It's very risky. We've got Bauble, and we can try to find a land. We do get to scry with this, but if we don't hit soon, we are in all kinds of trouble. We could mulligan and theoretically get a hand with lands, threats, and disruption, which is really enticing. A hand that actually works. Bauble lets us look at the scry and then 2 more cards. That's 3 cards. I would keep this as a Visions, so you know what? But would I keep it against Tron? Anyone have any opinions on this hand? I feel like the fact that we don't have any relevant disruption is a big point against this. It's rough. Am I gonna do it? I want to find something better. This hand's better. I'm gonna keep. That makes me pretty glad I mulliganed. I think... And we get Blood Moon mana, but we're on the play, so we're not going to have Blood Moon mana. I'll top it anyways. Let's grab a Steam Vents. Maybe we get Steam Vents with this instead. No, we get Steam Vents with this. This doesn't get the Forest. I don't like that. Really, I just want Flooded Strand to be a Scalding Tarn. Hopefully soon. Hopefully we'll get there soon. Maybe if we 4-1 a couple leagues, we can pull that off. Chromatic Star, not the scariest. Can we transform? We cannot. We get Blood Moon mana. That might not mean much if we're facing down the likes of Walking Ballista. Hopefully we're just not. They don't run that many, I don't think. Then again, this hand is just not good against Walking Ballista, and I don't think we mulligan this hand to beat Walking Ballista. Because then we're in the range of 5, and we're just asking to not find something good. Hopefully it's just something we can denial. Sanctum. What do we got? We can denial that twice, but we don't have anything that cares about the graveyard in hand, so I'm just going to let that resolve. Star, I think I'm willing to take out, though. That or we Bolt Face. This draws them a card. Denial isn't doing much since we don't have a fatty yet. I think I'm okay with that. I don't want to crack this Flooded Strand because I want a Delver Scry after we untap. What do we got? Serum Visions. Do I want to draw that? Yes, indeed. We're going to pick that up. We're going to get these out of our hand. Let the opponent know that we're getting basics. Don't want a Visions and then crack my fetch lands. That feels bad. Let's see if we can draw into something nice. Spreading Seas. Oh boy, we're going to bottom both of these. Mana Leak I would like if we had a better threat in play. Don't think Aberration is the threat we want right now. It's the hero we deserve, but not the one we need right now. We're going to take out the one Tron land. See if we can set them back a little bit. We get to draw a card. That's always nice. Who doesn't want to draw cards for free? And it's a Mandrills. Hopefully they don't crack that Relic, which they'll probably do very soon. Let's exile a Flooded Strand. Having Denial in hand makes me very much want to get this Mandrills down because it turns on pretty much our only disruption. Expedition map, sure. And we can do it. We're going to do this immediately before attacks. Not so that we have Denial up to counter anything they try to do to deal with our attacks. But I don't want to give them more windows to use that Relic. Even if they just tapped it there, they exile one card, suddenly Mandrills cost 3 mana, we don't get to hold up Stubborn Denial. Who wants to live in a world where they don't get to have their 4/4 and hold up Stubborn Denial? I'm not one of those people. Power Plant, not a redundant mine, makes me happy. This is how I want my Tron matchup to go. Exactly this. I don't think I'm going to bolt them here, just in case they're holding on to a Dismember. Oh, Blood Moon, hello. And how are you on this fine day, Blood Moon? Not sure I want to slam that, but I'm very much considering it. They will be able to Expedition Map and grab a basic. But I'm pretty sure this is going to set them back far enough that the basic won't help them that much. They're going to be at least a turn behind on Wormcoil Engine, even if they... No, Expedition Map does not put the land into play. We're 2 turns away from a Wormcoil Engine here. Forest, they might have something like a Nature's Claim, deal with that Blood Moon. But even if they do, that pretty much takes up their whole turn, and they had to get a Forest instead of a... what's the word? I can do it. Instead of a Tron land, which puts them back another turn for assembling Tron. So worst case scenario, Blood Moon was basically a Spreading Seas. And they dug for stuff and didn't find stuff. Cool. Are we going to keep this? I think we're going to keep this. I like what we have here. Hopefully we can do that again. We haven't seen any black cards or production of black mana off of eggs out of them. So I'm going to assume they're on mono green. Which means I'm probably going to be a little more aggressive with my Delvers and Goyfs because I'm not expecting any Fatal Pushes here. But I don't think there are any changes we're going to make to this configuration. I like it. Maybe on the draw you cut a Traverse for something that's a little more impactful. I'm not sure. I do like that we mulled to 5 and took that game because mulliganing is good. You mulligan as an option, not because you have to. When you have a hand that is a 7 that is not very good, I'm kind of leaning towards this being one such 7 because we need to visions into lands and threats. To be fair, we have Vendilion Click, which is kind of disruption and threat in one, but we're going to need... our visions is going to have to be fire. And I don't know if we can trust that visions to be that good. We have Thought Scour too, but it's going to be slow. I think I'm going to do it again. That one is not a good hand. Neither is that, and we're kind of getting punished for it. I'm going to go all the way. We may as well find a land. At this point, it's probably not worth it. We're going to top that, though. There you go. Still good. Still good. If I knew what the 5, 4, and 3 would be, I absolutely would have kept that 7, but I still like mulliganing it. We have a second main phase. Clicking through, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Against most decks, specifically mid-range and control, where they are much slower, I would probably keep that hand and just Serum Visions, try to find some lands. I think against Tron, that's a mulligan. Likewise with something to the effect of an aggro deck, maybe Burn. Don't think that's the kind of hand you want to keep. We're not doing anything here. If that Delver survived, we probably might have even been okay, because we could have thrown a Curious Obsession on it. Hopefully found some stuff. Chances are we're just already dead, though. I think we were dead by the time we saw the 5 was bad. Maybe not, but it was pretty close to dead. Wooded Foothills means we get to Spreading Seas. Which one do we want to hit? The Power Plant or the Mine? I think I want a Stomping Ground here. I want all my colors. Oh, Spreading Seas also draws us a card. We're in this. Don't think I want to hit the Forest. They specifically got the Mine off of Ancient Stirrings, so I'm hoping that means they didn't have a Mine in hand already. What do we draw? Come on, Spreading Seas. Be the best card in the deck. Nux certainly is not the best card in the deck right now. Well, we're treading water. We're definitely not doing great, but we are treading some water here. Sylvan Scrying, sure. They got a tower. They played the tower. Yeah, they're going to have Tron next turn. And they're going to be able to use it too. Visions. There's a chance that we Visions find a land, they crack the map, they don't have a Karn, and then we can Blood Moon and pray that that works. So that's definitely the line we're taking. Bottom both of these. We're still pretty well just dead, but we're going to play to our next to non-existent outs. Those were some bad hands. Those were some very bad hands. Would have been nice if the 5 was decent. I don't mind a good 5. That's how we took game 2. The 7, I think, was a mull. The 6, if I recall, didn't have a blue source. Same with the 5. The 4 and the 3 didn't have lands, and then we scryed into an island. I believe that's what went down. Pretty unfortunate. What are you gonna do, though? Worm Coil Engine. That's pretty much just a hard loss. Even if we Blood Moon, we need to Blood Moon and hit Ancient Grudge very quickly. We can't even play Mandrills. We can flash in a Snapcaster Mage. That's fine. Hopefully we can take the last 3, knock on wood. Wouldn't mind pulling out a 3-2. Don't think we want to block that just yet. I will flash in my Snapcaster Mage. They have all sorts of mana. How dead are we? Very dead. Very, very dead. Yeah, there's not even a point to playing this. We don't have an out. Oh, I wanted to attack defiantly, but I was too busy using the chat to actually do that. That's unfortunate. We're gonna scoop. Our opponent is extremely courteous. We're just gonna take this. They can have the legit kill. That's fine. We have a nice opponent. They can put us to -5. Alright, let's hop into the next one. Hopefully it'll be better than that was. Really wanted to smash Tron. Maybe we'll get our redemption round in the next 3. That'd be nice. 4 lands, a lot of cantrips. That means we're probably going to have at least 5 lands once all this is said and done. We're going to look for something better, and we're having the same problem as we did with Tron, but I think you still mulligan these. That's a keep. And that's on top. Great. Look at that. Paid off. That's how you do it. Let's slam a Delver of Secrets. I'm still 100% in for mulliganing bad hands. Delver's probably dead, but that's okay. Sulphur Falls. Ooh. I like hitting another Delver. Sulphur Falls means we're not playing against a Shadow deck. That's for sure. Probably something to the effect of one of the Blood Moon decks. If they slam Blood Moon here, we're going to get a Forest Traverse out of it. Snap Bolt, that's fine. Can't stop that. I think we're still going to get the Forest. Yep. May as well get it now, because I don't want to draw this. Lightning Bolt. Chances are we're going to be killing ourselves a Snapcaster Mage. It's entirely... Maybe we just get a Mountain here so that we can roast plus bolt a Platinum Imperium. But that's pretty loose, I think. It's something, but if they Platinum Imperium and we have to do that, we're pretty much left with nothing in the tank, and we're going to be basically out of gas. So I think I'd rather just get something decent instead of having an out to something that we're basically dead to, even if we have that out. Snapcaster's gonna swing, and I kind of like bolting this, but I don't think we need to yet. 15 life doesn't even matter if we're playing against Breach Emrakul, because they'll just make us sack everything anyways. So whether Emrakul kills us through damage or through making us sack all of our permanents, we're still dead. So I don't think I care about what the life total is per se. We could even be playing against the Kiki version of this deck. A lot of versions of Blue Moon running around these days. This could be a Cryptic, but that's fine. Maybe this is a Cryptic bounce Snapcaster Mage draw card. That'd be cool. Yep. That's fine. Really good for them, but still fine. Land. Think we play that? I don't think we have a lot of reason to hold on to it. Really wishing we hit a threat somewhere. Then again, we had 2 Delvers, so can I really complain? It just so happens that the threat we found was the one that dies to Bolt. 3 mana Vendilion Click? Blood Moon, that's fine. We played around that. And the only spells in our hand are red anyways, so... Goif, cool. It's a start. Hopefully that wasn't too late. Spell Snare, Remand. Don't think the deck runs Mana Leak, but they might. Pretty sure we're not playing against a Kiki Jiki deck, given that they fetched out just islands. Pretty sure a Kiki Jiki deck would have wanted at least some more mountains. We're going to keep playing out that Tarmogoyf. Hopefully it'll resolve one day. Debatable that we should tap the island instead of pretending we have blue spells in hand, just so we can fire off both lightning bolts if it matters, but it's extremely unlikely that we need those bolts. That's counter draw? Yep. Alright. Maybe this is just a control Blood Moon deck. That's possible too. Certainly less common than the Breach, Emrakul, Madcap, Experiment, Platinum Imperium, or even Kiki Jiki Splinter Twin version, but I could see it. Oh, I didn't update OBS. Let's do that. We are not in round 1, folks. This... Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yep. Let's see. Properties. We are in round 3. Did that brainstorm? No, it Fate Sealed. That's a pain. We are 0-2 currently. I was hoping they would brainstorm so we could just kill it. The opponent is respecting Lightning Bolt, which is probably a really good idea. They left it on top. I guess that's a bad thing? Probably a land, a counterspell, something garbage. If they have a Remand, we're going to have a lot of trouble dealing with that Jace. I should have gone for Bolt on the end step. Mana Leak. That gets us through a counter. It's certainly not good, but we're going to go for it. Oh, maybe Jace is their win con. That's possible. I would love to. First one resolved. To be fair, if I'm them, I'm countering the second one anyways, just to make us waste the Lightning Bolt. So that does not mean that this is resolving, but hopefully it does. We're going to counter their Remand and hope they don't have any sort of follow-up. Because if they do, we are probably dead. Can we beat another Jace? We don't have a threat yet. They Fate Seal. They could probably just perpetually Fate Seal and keep us off of a threat for as long as possible, which I think is what I would do. Bolt's gonna deal with Jace. Yes, please. Do not click no. That would be a great punt. Jace down. We dealt with our first Jace on the channel. Good job, folks. We did it. Hopefully they just don't have another. Or anything for that matter. I want a top deck, a Tarmogoyf, and have the opponent draw lands for the rest of the match. And have 3 lands in their hand. We can do it. It's possible. To be fair, something like Remand is going to be a terrible draw once our threat resolves. So it's not like we need them to hit only lands. They can have some spells. Do we play that? It's not really relevant. Not yet, at least. If we hit another land, I'm going to be a little sad that I didn't play that island, but if we hit another land, we have nothing to cast, so really, who cares? Therefore, we're just going to hold on to the island and pretend we did not draw it. Head to the opponent again, who is thinking quite a bit. Well, on the bright side, we're playing faster than the opponent. That is a good reason to play this out. I think once another Jace resolves, we probably just scoop. Unless we find a threat almost immediately, and it resolves. They have plenty of Cryptic command up. Cryptic plus Remand even. Cryptic, Remand, Dispel? Yeah, that works. 7 mana, 5 islands. Mandrills, let's do it. We're going to tap as much as we can here because they are playing Remand, not Mana Leak. If we end up getting Mana Leaked here, I'll probably just be really sad. Snap Cryptic? Yep. Oh, we knew about that Snapcaster Mage. Not that we didn't have to fight through it, but we knew about that. Sure. We might actually untap and roast that Snapcaster. Opt. Sure. Still good. The opponent doing a lot of good stuff. If a Jace resolves and ticks up, I think we just scoop. Specifically before they get to actually look at the top card. Just in case whatever information they get out of that is relevant. Snapcaster Mage. Snap Traverse. Any other sorceries in the bin? No. That means we need to roast before we go for the Snap Traverse. We may as well tap... I want to say an island, so that if they remand the roast, we could still play it. But if the roast resolves, we can still Snap Traverse. Actually, even if they counter it, I think I go for it. Snap Cryptic, maybe? Oh, maybe it's Snap Cryptic, bounce the Snapcaster Mage again. The opponent's just doing all the fun blue stuff. We are not doing the fun blue stuff. Our deck is more of a kill you while doing some blue stuff kind of deck, whereas they are just having a time. They're going to draw. Roast is still going to end up in the bin, and I'm going to hope they don't have a remand, because if they remand that Traverse, I'm going to be sad. We are still going for it, though. What threat do we want? We know that they have a Snapcaster Mage. It's too bad we can't throw that in the revealed window here. We're definitely getting a Traverse. They can't Cryptic yet. They don't, or at least we don't know they have a Cryptic. We know they have access to Remand, so I want a threat that's decent against Remand. Which probably just means Tarmogoyf. But if we want to play around Spell Snare, we might want to get Mandrills. I think it's still Goyf. Hopefully they don't have the Remand. They don't. I'm just going to grab a Tarmogoyf. Think I like it more than Knuckleblade and Mandrills because both of those die to Snapcaster Mage block plus Lightning Bolt. Even though Mandrills has Trample and Nux can get haste. Electrolyze, sure. 6 turn clock. Here we go. And they have Snap Electrolyze, which means 5 turn clock if they don't need to use that Snapcaster Mage. This is a long one. Serum Vision, sure. These are still the fun kind of matchup. Even if Game 1 is very difficult for us, I still enjoy these. Plenty of decisions on both sides. It's fun magic. What's the 2? Oh, maybe the 2 means 2 untapped. Or 2 tapped, 3 untapped. That'd be neat. Tarfire. Okay. We can try to deal with that Snapcaster Mage. Goyf probably doesn't resolve. Hopefully it just comes back to our hand. If they have a Cryptic here, we're probably in bad shape. I'm very glad that we dealt with that Jace. Maybe they are on just Jace as their win con. I could see that. I think that'd be pretty fair. I think that's what we're going to assume because we haven't seen Madcap, any twin combo, or Breach/Emrakul. That looks like a Cryptic command. It's a Disrupting Shoal. Oh, this is that version of the deck. Shoal, pitch Cryptic or Jace to counter your Jace. While they're tapped out of blue, I'm just going to take out the Snapcaster Mage here. Tarfire's not doing much more than that. And at least that slows down their clock. Might force them to get that other Snapcaster Mage out of their hand sooner. We have literally nothing in hand, so we may as well just never get priority here. Jace, whoa, 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 stop, 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 stop. Stop that stop. Scoop on Fate Seal. They don't get to see the card. Still did it. Nice. Alright, Blue Moon. What do? I have 3 plans for this deck. 1 for Kiki, 1 for Breach Emrakul, and 1 for Madcap. And I doubt we're playing against any of those. However, the Kiki and Breach ones are fairly generic, so I think we're going to do that. We're a tempo deck. And if we resolve a Goyf or a Mandrills early, chances are the opponent just loses because we have plenty of disruption. Delver, unfortunately, was our only threat there. So if the opponent can take on a control roll like they were, and they can just bolt our Delver, they're fine. But once we get one of these fatties that doesn't die to bolt in play, and we have a counter or 2 up, it's pretty well lights out. So we're going to get Vendilion Click, Deprive, and what's the 3rd card I usually board in? We got Click, Deprive, Pyroclasm. This gets some Snapcaster Mages, might ding a Pestermite, but I doubt they're on any Pestermites. Also cleans up Young Pyromancer, which I would not be surprised to see out of the board. Basilisk Collar you could argue for, because it basically means they need to win through something like Jace, and the burn plan just doesn't work. I don't think it's worth it. EE, probably really bad. Huntmaster we might take as extra threats just because it looks like the opponent's on more of a control deck than a combo deck. Blood Moon we don't want, Spreading Seas we don't want, Rejection we don't want, Anger probably too expensive to hedge against Pyromancer. I would board in Artifact Hate if we saw Madcap or Empyreon, but as is, we didn't, so we're just not going to do that. As far as things that get boarded out goes, Nux has a bit of a greedy mana cost and gets chump blocked very easily, so I think that's what we're going to cut here. Roast and Dismember also going to go. And is there anything we can board in to accommodate these Huntmasters? I don't really want to drop any bolts, just because Forked Bolt is good against Click, Snapcaster Mage, Tarfire grows Goyf, turns on Traverse, Bolt deals with Jace. All of these are good. We're not boarding out any of our main threats, and Snapcaster Mage is absolutely here to stay. So beyond maybe Simic Charm, which I could see cutting against a Blood Moon deck, I don't think we have much. Maybe we just don't board in Pyroclasm. We do have plenty of bolt effects to deal with Young Pyromancer and Spell Snares. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give that a shot. We will be on the play. Hopefully this goes better for us than recent games and matches have, and I'm pretty sure this is a mulligan as well. We have a Goyf that dies to Lightning Bolt. We have a much better hand. Alright, I am game. I'm gonna top that. And I'm just gonna pass the turn. We'll play a land, of course, but besides that, I would like to draw that basic island. I don't think we're gonna slam this Goyf on 2. Unless the opponent puts a nice card type in the bin, such as a Serum Visions, to mean that Goyf doesn't die to Bolt. Now we're gonna slam Goyf on 2. Can't be countered. Well, it could still get shoaled, but really, are we gonna play around Disrupting Shoal? Probably not. Not when it's extremely difficult to do so. They might have it. They didn't. Playing around Disrupting Shoal is especially iffy, because if you don't play the Goyf now, you give them more time to draw the Disrupting Shoal. They might have a roast here. It's just a peasy. Fantastic. You give them more time to draw Disrupting Shoal, or to... I'm going to figure it out. What's the word? To draw the card that they pitch to Disrupting Shoal. Or just get more time to draw a counter that isn't Disrupting Shoal. We're going to kill this. Make Goyf a 4/5. Get in for 4. Don't think I want to play out the Visions because we have Stubborn Denial up, but if there ever was a time to play it, it would be now. This is difficult. I want to hold up that denial. Spell Snare, not the best. If they have a roast, I might consider snaring that. I want to keep this Goyf alive. I don't think I'm too scared of whatever else they have. Thing in the Ice, we're going to snare that. Mostly because we can. So, oh, they're on that blue-red deck. Thing Pyromancer. It's pretty unlikely that they boarded in Pyromancer and Thing in the Ice. Now that they have Jace up, we're just going to keep holding up counterspells. We're going to play a nice game of Drago. But when tempo decks play Drago, usually they have a threat in play. So it's like we're playing Drago, where if the opponent doesn't stop playing Drago in roughly 5 turns, we just automatically win. Which is a pretty nice place to be. Sure. Lightning Bolt, fantastic. We'll cast that on the end step, take a turn off the clock. Could be a Snapcaster Mage. Snapcaster Mage. We're going to bolt that. Just because I don't want them to be able to take out our Tarmogoyf with a Lightning Bolt. Our clock basically stays the same in this case because the bolt made sure that Goyf got in instead of going to face, so that didn't matter. We just made sure that Jace didn't get to resolve, basically. If the opponent blocked with Snapcaster Mage and then bolted the Tarmogoyf, we have to denial it. At that point, we've tapped out. They cast Jace. We have no answer to it. They bounce the Tarmogoyf. Jace is at 2 loyalty, but our hand is full of counterspells. Here's another Snapcaster Mage. That one we can't stop, which is very unfortunate. Now if they have the bolt, we probably just have to do this the hard way. They haven't hit their land drop yet, so that's nice. So maybe they just won't be able to slam Jace, but we still have to give them the option here, which is extremely unfortunate. What do you got? No land. Fantastic. No land, no Jace. Well, we respected it for 4 or 5 turns. Probably closer to 3, to be honest. And then the one turn they could have gotten us, they visionsed into the land. That or they had the land. No, they weren't making that land drop for a while. They probably didn't have that land up. Snapcaster Mage doesn't do a heck of a lot. I think we're just gonna keep holding up that Stubborn Denial. I really like Stubborn Denial when you have a threat in play. It's pretty bad when you don't, but when you do, man, it is just a hell of a card, 1 mana negate. And I think we just keep passing the turn here. Yeah. No need to tap anything. Why Visions when we can counter their only relevant spell? Which is pretty much whatever stops us from winning or deals with this Tarmogoyf, which is really the same thing. Let's head back to the sideboard. Hopefully we can pull out a win in Game 3. I would like to get on the board. Do I like this configuration? I'm not sure if I'm a fan of Huntmaster now that we know that they're on Pyromancer and Thing in the Ice. I don't think I like Simic Charm very much. Pyroclasm's gonna come in now that we have confirmation on the Pyromancer, and maybe we run a 1-of Huntmaster of the Fells, or maybe Basilisk Collar just becomes a lot more relevant. I could see doing that. Death Touch also could be very good against Thing in the Ice. Maybe we just want to do this. Let's give it a go. Alright, we're playing against... I want to call it Blue-Red Pyromancer. This hand is great. Blue-Red Pyromancer? It's probably just called Blue-Red Pyromancer. I kind of want to call it Blue-Red Jace, but I feel like that's not really accurate. We probably grab a basic island here, cast a Serum Visions. Sounds good. Maybe we can find something juicy. I don't expect them to counter this. I also don't think they have anything that can. Traverse and Bauble. I like both of these cards very much. Put them like that. Go to the opponent. Being on the draw definitely makes slamming that Tarmogoyf a bit worse. I think if they go Peasy, we just respond with Goyf. If they go Thing in the Ice, we probably do the same. They have mana up. Don't really want to play into that. I also don't really want to not play into that. We could just go Breeding Pool tapped. Maybe we just play out this land. Yeah, let's do that and bobble them. Don't really want to press the Tarmogoyf issue when the opponent has Remand up. I also don't like playing Drago before we get a threat into play, but still. This is probably our best bet. We could be a little more respectful towards our life total and play the Breeding Pool tapped. That was correct. Forked Bolt is not an instant. We should have done that. Then again, we could draw a Lightning Bolt, but we knew the Traverse was on top. That was a misplay. Breeding Pool should be in play tapped right now. The opponent looks to want to click us here. Why else do you want to hold up 3 mana? I'm not sure. Now that we have an answer to Remand, I think we go for this. They might be able to counter our Spell Snare, but we're still going to give it a shot. They might Jace us, but I think that's okay. If they Jace and take down to deal with Goyf, oh, we can't stop that. We cannot stop that. Alright, that's bad. That is very, very, very bad. I forgot Logic Knot existed. I also don't know if this deck usually plays Logic Knot, but you know what? They just did, so... That was a blowout. Jace Fate Seal's gonna hurt. Jace Fate Seal's gonna hurt a lot. Oh, thank God. Alright. We made it out alive. Faded it. What do we do? We can Traverse for a threat. Means we don't have Click up. Click dies to Bolt, so I guess it's not the best. We have an Opt revealed. They opted, so we can get rid of that. I might want to Traverse for a land here. If we Traverse out an island, I'm kind of not happy that our double blue is on our green, because it means this Deprive and this Click right now are not very good. If we Traverse a land, it probably has to just be an island so that we can keep holding up our Disruption, which is really quite annoying. I think I'd rather get the Forest if I had the option. Really, I want to get a threat, but if we get a threat, the only Disruption we have up is Spell Snare, which seems quite bad. We could pass the turn and then go for something on their turn. If anything, we're going to try to click them on their turn. I think we're going to do that because if they Jace, we get to click them, and that's totally fine. And I think the scariest thing they can do right now is Jace. Snapcaster Mage Opt. That's okay. That's not fantastic, but it's okay. They're going to try to find that land. They also might not jam Jace into open mana. But we could still go for Click. Yeah, we probably go for Click regardlessly on their end step here. I kind of like end step Click even more than draw step Click. Just because you get to do it on their turn, untap, and just do stuff. Snapcaster Mage is fine, that's going to get in. They might just want to hold up Cryptic Command here, but we're still going to go for this. Chances are they just let us click them and bolt it. I think if I'm them, I want to keep holding up Cryptic, but I guess if you bolt the click, you don't get to have Cryptic up anyways, so maybe you just Cryptic it, draw a card. Sure, they're tapped out. That's something. Oh, that's a lot of something. Traverse. Oh, we can't Traverse out a Tarmogoyf. That makes me so sad. We can Traverse out a Forest and then Snap Traverse. That's probably our best play. Unfortunately, taps us out once again. I don't want to tap out. I really don't want to tap out, but if we don't tap out, we're probably losing anyways. We're in a bad spot. We needed a threat sooner. What are we going to do? We have these Snapcaster Mages, but we have no instants in the bin, which really hampers their use. We're going to traverse. We're going to get... I think it's going to be the forest and we just tap out. But that feels so bad. The opponent's really in the driver's seat here. They might be thinking of shoaling this. Which, don't get me wrong, would suck, but I think that would even be acceptable. We probably have an out to that. End step, Snapcaster Mage, try to ambush Viper. If I'm them, I'm probably likely to want to shoal this. That assumes again that they have it up, but given that they have priority right now, I'm going to assume they do. Having played shoal before, I'm pretty sure on MTGO that's the only reason they would have priority right now. Otherwise, all they would have to do is hit the 8 key, and MTGO would pass for them, even if they don't want to go as far as to 6. We're going to traverse. We're going to go for, I think, a Tarmogoyf. Don't really want to go for the... Well, we didn't keep the Huntmaster in, so we definitely aren't going for the Huntmaster that we don't have. We're going to do that. I don't think they Jace bounce our Snapcaster Mage, but I could see Jace keep Snapcaster Mage back to block our Snapcaster Mage. Then again, if they tap out for Jace and don't have land, plus Snare, or Disrupting Shoal to deal with the Tarmogoyf, we get to resolve Goyf and hold up Deprive, which means they're probably locked into bouncing the Goyf with Jace. Which, well, it isn't great, but it's something. We're really just not having a good league. Knock on wood. Traverse Shadow, green, mono green Tron, and then blue-red Pyromancer Jace. Those aren't even the worst of matchups. To be fair, I've never played against this deck, but I have played my fair share against Blood Moon. And we do need an early clock, which we did not get in either of the two games that we're poised to have lost. The game we won was great. We did exactly what a tempo deck wants to do. We have a hand full of stuff, so that's good. We just need to figure out how to get these cards out of our hand and onto the table. Which is proving to be a lot harder than I would like. Mostly due to that breeding pool in the mountain. If we had island steam vents instead, well, I guess I kind of want the forest, but if the mountain was a steam vents, I'd be a lot happier. The opponent's thinking about stuff. They played a polluted Delta for turn. Not much else going on. Pyromancer. That makes Pyroclasm pretty good. I don't think I want a Pyroclasm yet. Oh, okay, maybe I just want a Pyroclasm Slam Goyf. Or we Slam Goyf and say go. Pyroclasm plus Bolt is only 5 damage, and that Goyf's a 5/6. I'm going to trade here, because I don't care about my Snapcaster Mage. We're going to be Pyroclasming very soon anyway, so I'd rather have the life. Land! Oh yeah, that's great. Goyf. I want to hold up Deprive, so I'm going to cast the Tarmogoyf here. And we're just going to wait on the Pyroclasm. We'll do it shortly, but not quite yet. Deprive plus Spell Snare is something I like having up. They could still get us with Jace plus Dispel, but, you know, if they have the theoretical combination of cards that is exactly what they need to deal with the cards that we have, well, then the opponent's probably going to win. If they have a combination of cards that doesn't deal with what we have, they might not win. That's what we call variance. Can't really play around Jace plus Dispel, can we? I guess we tap out here and just say we don't care about Jace. But I don't really like that. Not much, at least. I definitely don't like it much. Do I just want to pass the turn here? I feel like I want to pass the turn instead of going for Pyroclasm. We could Pyroclasm. Means they don't get to attack, but honestly, I'll take 5 damage if it means having great stuff up. Given that we have Pyroclasm plus Forked Bolt, I think we're going to be just fine. We probably go for the Pyroclasm first, even though it's the better version of the sweeper. Forked Bolt makes for a pretty bad sweeper. Does deal with multiple threats, though, so there's that. If we Pyroclasm first, and they counter it, they're going to have an extra token in play. But if we Forked Bolt first, they might just let it happen, and then they can chump block our Tarmogoyf for a little while. And I'm not a fan of that either. I kind of don't want to crack this yet. Oh, Stubborn Denial. We still only have 2 counters up. But Denial is a better counter than Spell Snare in a lot of cases. Let's go for this. Step 1. Does my sweeper resolve? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Disrupting Shoal, Pitch, Snapcaster Mage. We can counter that. Oh, we didn't play a land this turn. We didn't play a land this turn. We're doing it. We are doing it. We are going to have the good Deprive. Plenty of Steam Vents still left in our deck. I might actually clip this. We're going to have the Deprive that is a strictly better counterspell, because it's going to bounce this island, and we're going to put that island back into play shortly thereafter. Target that. Blue. I will happily pick up my blue source. I am half expecting a Cryptic Command here. They did not have it. Let's just do that. And we still have 2 counterspells in play. Sorry, counterspells available. 2 blue sources in play. Boom! Goes the dynamite. That was cool. I think that was worth all the bad mulliganing against Tron. My day is still okay. Let's see if this Tarmogoyf can do its job now. Pyroclasm and Deprive pulled their weight. Let's see if Tarmogoyf can do its fair share. The opponent graciously allowed us to go to combat. Probably means they have a Cryptic Command in hand, but they didn't Cryptic over our Pyroclasm, which is at least a little fishy. Because if I'm them, I really like having a Pyromancer, a Snapcaster Mage, and 3 Elemental tokens in play against a lone Tarmogoyf. It's a pretty good spot to be in. Over to them. 2 counters available. Once we untap, Snapcaster Mage comes back online. I love it. I love Magic in general, but when the Magic goes well, it's just a whole other feeling. We're going to try to counter that. If they have Dispel, they have Dispel. Well, they didn't. And Goyf's a 2-turn clock. Who needs to cast Forked Bolt? Do I want to crack this? Snare isn't countering anything anyways, because they only have 1 mana up. We're going to get another blue source, and it's a Lightning Bolt. That's lethal, ladies and gentlemen. That is bona fide lethal. That's why we play burn spells. That's also why the opponent plays burn spells. Let's do it. Goyf for 6. Take our opponent down a notch. Unless they have Shoal. They could Shoal their way out of this, so I'm just going to start on this. Don't want to commit the Lightning Bolt because it is the better burn spell. If they have Disrupting Shoal plus Dispel, this isn't a kill. And we're probably in a bad spot, so I kind of want to let them untap. Since it's on them anyways, they need to deal with Tarmogoyf and the Bolt. So I think I'm just going to let them have their turn. Just in case we do something like Bolt them, they Shoal it, we Snap Denial, they Dispel the Denial, suddenly we're in terrible shape. And with that on the stack, we're just going to go for this. See if we actually need to counter Jace. Maybe we'll just leave him in the ether. Doesn't matter. We did it. Nice. Good job, team. We are on the board. Let's make sure OBS is clearly aware of that. I keep clicking on the wrong thing. I do not want the properties on the background, just the text. 1, 2. We are in it. Let's head to the next one. Oh, I like Magic. I'm assuming you guys like Magic too. If you didn't, you probably wouldn't be watching this. Those were some long matches. I feel like we're due for some aggro decks. Then again, it's only been less than an hour and a half. That's fine. Makes sense. About half an hour per match. That's respectable. Let's pull up the deck. We haven't taken a look at that for a little while. Besides sideboarding, what do we have to talk about? Deprive did its job. Didn't actually matter, I don't think. We got paired because the opponent didn't press the issue of us having our last counter spell up. But we still did it, and it was still awesome. So I'm going to count it. It happened. You were witnesses to that. Hopefully we will have many more witnesses eventually. We should head over here so our opponent doesn't have to wait. I don't like when I have to wait 20 seconds to get into the match because the opponent is here to play Magic. Why aren't they playing Magic? Why are we waiting? We're both here for the same reason. We want to have a match. This hand isn't fantastic, but I'm going to keep it. The only thing we're searching for is threats here. I like when your cantrips only need to get one thing. If you need to get lands and threats, it's a little difficult. If you need lands and disruption, you're probably in a very bad spot. Threats and disruption, at least you have your lands already. We're going to Bauble Scry here. We're covered against aggro a little bit. We got some stuff for mid-range. Hopefully it's going to be a fun time. We got a Delver of Secrets coming up. We're not going to crack that fetch. We will very graciously draw our Delver. Our namesake, if you will. Much would have preferred to have that on turn 1, but you know what? You can't always get what you want. Basic Island, Serum Visions. That could be a lot of stuff. Basic Island probably means not a shadow deck, but it still could be. Do we want to crack this here? Probably. Our life total is probably relevant. Then again, we could hold this up for Delver Scry. We're going to hold it up for Delver Scry. Lightning Bolt. Now, this might mean the opponent's on Blue Moon, and I want to respect that. But it also might mean I just want to get my mana. And I think, in the dark, I want my colors. Hold up Bolt, Snare, and Denial. Good mix of interactive spells. Can't say I dislike being able to cast the spells that I play this deck for. Reason to play blue is pretty much counter spells, although Delver in itself is pretty fun. Most people don't like Delver. To be fair, when it doesn't transform, it feels pretty damn bad. But on the other hand, when it does transform, it's great. So you just have to go with the EV and deal with it. What do we got? It's a Search for Ozkanta. I think we're going to get the Spell Snare out of our hand here. Let's grab a Steam Vents. I want to have red. Yup. Sorry, the Denial is getting out of our hand here. We don't have a threat that turns on Denial yet. I'm not looking to use Simic Charm on Delver to turn it on. Hooting Mandrills, well, what do you want? Sometimes that's just how it goes. Do we want to hold up counters? I think I just want to play Mandrills. We're not really countering anything great anyways. The best snare target right now is probably Snapcaster Mage. And what are they going to do? Flashback? I probably clicked for the wrong mana. That's something I do often. We made it 3 matches without doing that, so that's good. I'm assuming they clicked through their first main phase. Chances are they clicked through their first main phase. That or they don't have a land drop. I don't love playing the Mandrills there, but like I said, the only thing they're going to use Snapcaster Mage for is to snap visions, and we're not looking to counter that right now. I would much prefer to get a threat down. If they have something like a Gurmag Angler, we can bounce it. They haven't done anything yet. They have Terminate up. We have plenty of answers to Terminate, though. And we have a 2-turn clock plus 2 burn spells in hand. Let's see how we can do. How do we want to answer Terminate? I think we snare it if it happens, just because that means we get to bolt or scour on their turn. They didn't go for it. Looks like Crixus Control, featuring Search for Azcanta, as their card advantage engine of choice. I don't know if Grixis really needed more card advantage, though. Kolaghan's Command, Snapcaster Mage, Cryptic Command if you want it, the Corey Burkhart list. We are just going to untap here. This is perfectly fine. It's on the opponent to stop us, so we may as well not go for the Thought Scour there and make their job easier for them. What do you got? Is it good? We have Charm plus Denial. Well, we're going to discard a card, but that Delver is unlikely to die here. Let's get Hexproof. Blue-green. What are we going to discard? Probably Forked Bolt. Might as well be Forked Bolt. Sure. Sounds good. Alright, good job, guys. Tempo is what tempo does. How do we sideboard against Grixis Control? Now, against blue-black decks, it's a little funny, because against Thoughtseize decks, I like boarding out the counters. Against Cryptic Command decks, I like boarding in more counters, because you end up in a stack war against them, against, say, Jeskai, where they go Spell Queller, you go Mana Leak, they go Cryptic Command, you go Stubborn Denial, bam! Blown out, tempo, oomph. And then we just get really far ahead that way. Whereas against Thoughtseize decks, they take away your Mandrills or your Stubborn Denial, your Savage Knuckleblade or your Tarmogoyf, and your Denial looks a lot worse, and then they just play around it and you end up with dead cards in your hand, which feels really bad. So if we think the opponent's on a tap-out control deck, we're going to want to board out counters and assume they're going mostly Thoughtseize and such as their disruption. If we think they're on an instant speed control deck, we're going to want to keep those counters. We didn't see much of their deck there, so I think we're going to hedge and just do a bit of both. But I'm not sure how I actually want to do this. What's good against Grixis Control? Huntmaster's great. I'm not expecting Death Shadow, so I don't want this. They have Search for Azcanta, but I don't think I want Revelry for just that. Basilisk Collar helps with the fatties, so I think that's okay. Then again, Kolaghan's Command is trouble, and they don't have that many fatties, so maybe we just don't. Anger of the Gods seems bad. Blood Moon is great. Pyroclasm, Ancient Grudge, click. I don't think we're going to board in Deprive as a bit of our hedge here, and I kind of like Spreading Seas, but I'm not sure. So we've got 7 cards we're looking at here. If we think we want to upgrade Mana Leak to Deprive, we might, but I think I'd rather just have Mana Leak here. Mandrill seems fine. I'm expecting a non-zero amount of Delve threat, so I'm going to keep Dismember, board out Roast. Simic Charm is good. We're going to drop Forked Bolt, a non-zero amount of Thought Scours, probably all 3 to be honest. The opponent's going to be interacting with us quite a bit. Maybe we drop a Mana Leak. Spell Snare is poised to be very good. Hits Azcanta, hits Snapcaster Mage. I love hitting Snapcaster Mage. Maybe we just board out another Bolt. Something like that. How many counters do we have? We might board out a Denial or a Snare to bring back a Thought Scour, just as part of the hedge. I kind of like boarding out the Denial a little more, just because I don't want to have too many of those. Flooding on Denial can be really bad. We're going to do something like that. See how that goes. This hand looks perfectly fine. If you don't have to mulligan against a black mid-range control deck, you usually shouldn't. Thoughtseize is a gross card when you mull, especially when you mull to 4 or 5. Just hurts a lot. Here's a Serum Visions. Supporting the concept that the opponent is not playing an instant speed control deck, but really, A Thoughtseize deck would play Visions anyways because that card is the bomb. Blood Moon. We are going to lead on Delver of Secrets, try to get them to answer that. Next turn we might just traverse out a basic forest, and then go for Blood Moon. I want to traverse for a land anyways, most likely, just to get that Huntmaster to be good. Maybe we don't want Dismember anyways because we have Simic Charm to bounce a Gurmag Angler, but I don't know if we really want to rely on that. It's debatable that we should have just led on the Traverse, but I don't like that very much. Let's get a Forest. Go to the opponent. Maybe we just snap Traverse next turn. That could be good. Especially if they leave an untapped fetch. Or if they take out our Blood Moon. They have an untapped fetch. And I don't love going for Blood Moon when the opponent can just fix their mana. We also have a Tarmogoyf here. I think I want to go for the Snapcaster play. Gets us closer to Huntmaster. And our hand is kind of full of bombs right now. Let's get on this. Serum Vision's hopefully going to keep that Goyf healthy, but if they delve it away, we're going to be a little sad. They might just counter Snapcaster Mage. They could counter the Traverse, but I don't think you'd be that happy to go for that. We're going to get another island. May as well have perfect Blood Moon mana. And with this on the stack, what are we doing? Counter Squall? Counter Squall, nice. And they're playing around Blood Moon, I appreciate that. Not bad. Not bad. I like when the opponent doesn't play around Blood Moon, because it means you usually can just get a Blood Moon to take the game without much finesse. Usually, if you want to win with Blood Moon, you have to think about how you're playing it and actually be smart, because if you go fetching basics right away like we did, you're probably going to tell the opponent off that you have a Blood Moon. Not that we had much of a choice in the matter, because we didn't exactly have a bunch of lands. Bolt, deal with our Snapcaster Mage. That means we could actually resolve a Blood Moon if we want here. Not sure how good that is now that they have all their colors online. We could also just slam Tarmogoyf. Not sure how good that is. Sometimes, though, the opponent just doesn't play around Blood Moon at all, and you just put it down and they scoop because they didn't play around Blood Moon. Maybe they didn't expect you to run it in a 3-color deck. Who knows? Alright, what are we doing here? We can slam Blood Moon, we can slam Goyf, we can slam Mandrills. We're not playing out Mandrills because you usually want to play the Goyf first, leave the graveyard healthy, play Mandrills after Goyf dies. If you play Mandrills and then it dies, your graveyard's pretty close to empty. Goyf looks a lot worse. We can't play Huntmaster, and we don't want to deal with the Snapcaster Mage yet. So it's one of these two. Now, Blood Moon makes Simic Charm quite bad, but it's probably also going to keep them on one spell a turn, and Dismember's going to help at least a little bit. You know what? Would have been much nicer if we had a basic island in play, but I'm still going to do it. We are technically behind on board because the opponent has a 2-1 and we have, well, a 3-mana enchantment, but we're not very behind on board, so I think we could recoup this tempo pretty easily. If they go for a Delve threat, we're gonna try to take it out. Field of Ruin makes me pretty happy that I played that Blood Moon out. Not that I'm going to take that as a sign that we should have played the Blood Moon, because I try not to be results-oriented, but I'm always happy when the play works out. And if they are on Cryptic Command, they cannot cast it. We're gonna play this Tarmogoyf. Hope it resolves. If it doesn't, well, we've got a lot more fatties where that came from. Head over to the opponent. It's a Fatal Push, that's fine. I think we could pretty easily expect them to be able to deal with the first Tarmogoyf. We're not going to dismember the Snapcaster Mage because I think that's just bad. Our creatures are going to do a good enough job handling that. Savage Knuckleblade. I think we're still just going to play Goyf. Maybe we don't. Just in case we hit... What can we hit here that lets us double spell? A cantrip? A counter spell? I don't really want to lead on Mandrills, though. That's the problem. You know what? Mandrills lets us attack a lot sooner, to be fair. We can always go for Dismember to take out a Delve threat, even if they counter Squall the Dismember, which they won't be able to on the turn they play it unless they hit another swamp. Mandrills is looking pretty appealing, especially now that we know there's no way they could have a counter spell up. I think we're going to tap out of Dismember to play it, just to keep our graveyard somewhat healthy. To play around them delving. We don't really need the creatures because we have a lot of creatures to put into the bin. If they do go Gurmag Angler, we're going to untap, Dismember, maybe Simic Charm, see what's up. Dreadbore, sure. Take another 2. They're getting there. Slowly but surely, and we can Huntmaster. I think we want to Huntmaster. Chances are it dies. But you know what? It's going to do some good stuff. They probably can't counter that. Set them back a turn on the Snapcaster clock. Present 2 bodies. Got a bolt. K-Mand would be pretty good here. Electrolyze? I doubt it's an Izzet Charm. 2 mana, including blue. We're not going to block that. I don't want to turn on Fatal Push to take out Huntmaster. Snap Dreadbore, probably. Yep, that's fine. We 2 for 1, they 2 for 1. Everybody 2 for 1s. Spreading Seas. We can take out their Black Source. Oh, yes. Please. Take out Black Source, slam Tarmogoyf. Draw a card. Okay, it's a Blood Moon, but still. We still got to draw a card. That means the Blood Moon got out of our deck, which is good. We're going to swing because we're the beatdown. I think we're the beatdown. We don't have much life, but our board is looking nice. They're going to have a lot of trouble dealing with Tarmogoyf now. Double Bolt helps. They now have 2 islands in play. Not that scared of that. We have a Bolt of our own. We're going to get swinging. If they have a Lightning Bolt, we probably Simic Charm to protect the Tarmogoyf. Is it Static Caster? They're going to double block. That's fine. Why did they do that? I don't know why they did that. I'm very confused. I thought they were double blocking and trying to finish it off. We're going to play out a Knuckleblade Hold Up Bolt. May as well. We could have played this before combat, but I don't see too much of a reason to not be a little conservative here. Especially because I don't want them to trade Bolt and Snapcaster Mage with Tarmogoyf. I would rather us just have some sweet, sweet fatties. I think if they swing, I'd be willing to block with Nux. Do we Bolt them here? I'm considering it. Maybe we do. We put them down to 7. We swing with the team. Simic Charm, nah. We're in a great spot. We're going to let our cards take over. We may as well not let ourselves be susceptible to a way for them to squeeze out of this. They have a counter Squall they're drawing soon. Well, they can't cast that. So that is perfectly acceptable. Artifact, Growing Tarmogoyf. Let's get in. We're swinging with the Wolf, even though they can block it with Staticaster, just because it makes them block it with Staticaster. That way they can't just chump one of our other threats. Don't think they want to take this. I like that block. We could go for the match here, if we want to. But I'm pretty sure we have next to no way of losing this. And if they have a Dispel, they could stop us. But you know what? If they Dispel, they're going to draw a Counter Squall anyways. So we may as well just go for the Bolt and the Simic Charm now, try to finish them off. That is fantastic. Absolutely. Block like that. Simic Charm, +3/+3. We're going to Giant Growth. Green-blue. They might be able to stop this, but even if they do, we know what their next card is, and they're going to lose anyways. So I'm pretty happy with it. That's a Dispel. Do we want to Bolt Staticaster? I definitely want to use Bolt now. I guess we could have bolted a Snapcaster Mage. Technically, that's the right play, but I'm pretty sure we just won regardlessly, because we're going to do this. They're going to draw a Counter Squall, and we're just going to kill them with Goyf. So there were a lot of ways to skin that cat. Oh, and we get to draw a card. Forgot about that. Cool. 2-2. Let's ensure that OBS reflects our somewhat redeemed record here. And we're going to head into match 5 in probably right now. 0 minutes. I don't see much of a reason not to. Let's join a match. I'm assuming our opponent's not going to make us wait. Come on. I'm here to play Magic. You're here to play Magic. Let's just play Magic. You don't want to just sit at your computer not playing Magic. Neither do I. Curious Obsession replaced Mishra's Bauble, or I guess you could say it replaced Curator of Mysteries, neither of which would have been that great here. So I'm not really disappointed in Curious Obsession, but I do think I'd rather have a different card. I do like that we're going to have a very nice Tarmogoyf. Karplusan Forest. I want to say this is red-green Eldrazi. I don't really want to fetch, because I like having a nice life total. I do want a Visions. Hopefully we can find some nice interaction. Lightning Bolt is such interaction. We're going to bottom the Spell Snare. Not really expecting the opponent to have Eldrazi Mimics, but they might. Even so, Snare's probably not going to be that great. We're probably going to fetch now to play the Tarmogoyf. Or maybe we just Bolt whatever their threat is. I think I want to get the Goyf down in case of a turn 3 Thought Knot. Matter Reshaper, that's fine. We definitely don't care to Bolt that. Maybe we hold on to the Bauble? Forest. They play Lightning Bolt, so we still want to do this. We might just want a red source, though. Yeah. May as well not take the damage. Oh, I'm the worst. I'm absolutely the worst. That was a punt. That was a massive, extraordinary punt. I was planning on fetching out the basic forest, and then we drew it. And things went downhill from there. We absolutely should have just played the forest, and we could have cracked the Bauble to save Goyf from Lightning Bolt. That was terrible. That was 100% dreadful. I didn't crack the Bauble immediately because I want to play around Thought-Knot Seer, but that was just really bad. Now they get to take our Tarmogoyf with Thought-Knot Seer. We deserve this. We deserve this. Oh boy. I apologize. We could have had a nice game. Instead, we had that. Yep. That's gonna happen. Well, we have some looks at another fatty, thanks to Thought Scour and the Bauble. But we're in a bad spot now. If we had a resolved Tarmogoyf, this would have been a pretty good spot. As is, this is a very bad spot. I don't think they take anything but Tarmogoyf. I actually might bolt the Matter Reshaper post-combat. Just to stem the bleeding. That's probably what we do. We might Bauble before we Thought Scour to Scry. I kind of like that. I want to make sure we do this after attack so they don't, reshape into an Obligator, which has haste and hits us for 3 anyways. That'd be pretty unfortunate. What do we got? It's a Grove of the Burn Willow. So the opponent got to ramp. I imagine that's just going to enter the battlefield and we're going to clear it from the revealed cards. Cool. Let's see what we're going to draw. Do I want to scour? I would absolutely love to scour. 3 looks at a good threat. That's not it. That could be it. And that doesn't really do it either. Let's play a Mandrills. Delve. Land can go pretty easily. Thought Scour we don't really care to keep. Bolt I kind of want. I want to keep a non-zero amount of counters for Snapcaster Mage, but I guess that doesn't really matter. We'll keep Goyf healthy because Goyf is way better in this matchup. Chances are we're not snaring anything, but we'll hold it up just in case. Eldrazi Temple. Could be a Bloodbraid Elf. Could be a big fat Eldrazi. Regardlessly, it's probably bad for us. 5 mana. Do we have a Smasher? It's a Smasher. And I imagine they just attack with that. We don't really want to block it. I absolutely don't want to block it. Oh, we might end up blocking it and then trading Snapcaster Mage using Lightning Bolt to deal with it. But that's pretty bad too. And we definitely don't do that yet because we have neither the mana nor the Snapcaster Mage. So that's going to happen. At least Mandrills keeps Thought-Knot from attacking. Tarmogoyf, thank you. Thank you. We're going to play this tapped. And we're going to hope that we can come back from that misplay. To think that we would have 2 Tarmogoyfs and a Mandrills on this board. Imagine how great that would be. Oh, we're going to suit up Mandrills with Curious Obsession. That's going to be fun. Maybe we should have played out the fetch so that we could hold up the Spell Snare just in case. And then we could swing... Yes, we should have done that. Smasher would have been tapped. Mandrills could have gotten in. They wouldn't have blocked. We would have drawn a card. Goyf is still great at blocking. Spell Snare doesn't even really matter, so who cares? Should have played out the Obsession. I find when you misplay, they tend to compound, and you end up misplaying upon misplays, and everything just goes downhill from there. Goyf's going to hold them off, but they're probably going to do some gross stuff sometime soon. Traverse. Play a land. Do we want to traverse out a Snapcaster Mage or another Tarmogoyf? That's a trick question. The answer is Tarmogoyf. Does that count as a trick question? I feel like it doesn't, but at the same time, Tarmogoyf. 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 I love that 5/6. It's a glorious, glorious 5/6. We're going to trade Mandrills and Obsession here, but we're going to deal with some of their stuff. And if they don't put a bunch of toughness in front of it, we get to draw an extra card, which is fine. And really, Mandrills isn't doing much on this board. You could put Obsession on a Tarmogoyf, but they'll just double block that, and that doesn't do much. I'd rather have a way to get some value out of this Mandrills. We dealt with Smasher using Mandrills. That's great. That's absolutely fantastic. Now we have 2 6/7s to their 4/4 and 3/2. Still not expecting to get value out of this Spell Snare, but we're in a nice spot. We're in a very nice spot. Oh, sweet, sweet Tarmogoyf, our Lord and Savior. Getting us out of these horrendous misplays. We really should have attacked with Mandrills earlier. That would have been so good. Oh, Bloodbraid into Reshape, and then you get to Reshape into something else. That's amazing. I can see why this deck plays Bloodbraid. That's awesome. If we swung with that Mandrills earlier, they would have taken 5. We would have drawn a card. They still wouldn't have had good attacks because we had a Goyf out. Can we draw something good? Simic Charm. I think we only swing with 1 Goyf, but I'm definitely swinging. I don't want to swing with both because we're probably dead on the crackback. And that seems like a bad idea, but we can probably use Simic Charm to deal with some of their stuff here. They might have a Bolt, but then at least we get to trade Simic Charm for Bolt. And that's not the worst either. Reshaper, that's fine. It's not great, but it's okay. We gotta get through this stuff eventually anyways. That block I am stoked for. We have a 6/7. Unless they pull out a Bolt, they just lost their dudes. Yeah, that seems good. They get to reshape. What do you got? Is it good? It's a Dismember. Those two can go. If they go for the Dismember, we're going to go for Hexproof. No harm, no foul. If they have the Bolt as well, which I think they do, because I don't think, yeah, there's not much reason to go for this if you don't have the Bolt. Otherwise, that block's just bad. We're going to make them cast Dismember, though. +3/+3 or Hexproof? We're going to go with Hexproof, just in case they let this Simic Charm resolve before going for the Dismember. Because if it does, a little fact about playing against Infect. When they Vines of the Vastwood, you need to Bolt on top of it, because once that resolves, none of your disruption is working. Yup, that's fine. We dealt with some stuff. They got a 2-for-1 out of the Reshaper, but this is okay. We traded Simic Charm for Bolt. We traded Goyf for Dismember. They lost some stuff. Spell Snare continuing to be very bad in this matchup. I wonder if they board in Chalice of the Void. I probably don't even care. Spell Snare probably just comes out with extreme prejudice. Chalice also sounds like a terrible Cascade hit. Unless you're playing against Affinity. But do you really want to play your Chalice on 0 on turn 4 against Affinity? Probably not. Probably not. I'm going to go ahead and say they don't board in Chalice. Now, our attacks still aren't great here. Hopefully we draw some gas. That's not gas. We're going to pass the turn. Don't really like just passing the turn here because they have some fire top decks. We do too. To be fair, we do too. Snapcaster Mage flashes back Traverse the Ulvenwald, gets the last Goyf. Goyf, Traverse. We could hit a Bolt to blow them out. Delver of Secrets is a clock. It's not a great clock, especially if it doesn't transform, but it's a clock. A clock is a clock no matter how small. Then again, small clocks are really bad. You want a big clock. So, I guess Horton Hears the Who has no bearing on tempo decks. We can't counter Eldrazi anymore. But were we really planning on countering many Eldrazi? Were we, chat? We weren't. Hooting Mandrills. We're still going to play it. That's great. What do we want to tap here? We have plenty of Graveyard, but I want to keep the Graveyard stocked. I think we're just going to get rid of, say, I want to keep the land. We could get rid of the other Mandrills, and Simic Charm's good. Visions can go. Traverse is still a sorcery, and if we want to flashback that Traverse, we have more than enough card types, so it's fine. We still don't want to swing the Goyf because it trades with Thought-Knot and Reshaper. Exactly. All we need is a Rogue's Passage, and we got this. Hierarch makes their attacks a lot better. We still have a 6/7 Goyf, though. What do we got? Delver. Wooded Foothills. That's fine. That gives us Delver Scry. Do we swing with Mandrills here? We probably do because it trades for at least one creature if they decide to block it. I don't think we can really get punished for this unless they go BBE into Eldrazi Obligator. What do we got? Grove of the Burnwills, that's fine, have a land. To be fair, our opponent's hitting a lot of lands, but we are too, so I don't feel bad. Oh, we're in match 5. I just remembered. This is for the league. This is for the 3-2. They might have a Bolt here to deal with Mandrills. Personally, yeah, I guess that's fine. I kind of like bolting the Delver of Secrets because that's going to be really bad for them. But I guess they have to do that anyways. Mandrill's attacks are really good right now. Let's get rid of the Grove and the Forest. It's an Eldrazi. Do they play Displacer? Oh, please tell me they don't play Displacer. Am I even scared of Displacer? Thought not, right? Gotta be Thought not. Yeah, it's Thought not. Yeah, take Spell Snare, please. Please get this out of my hand. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Card has been boring a hole in my soul for the last how many turns? Misty Rainforest. No, but we're gonna fetch. Oh yeah. We did it. Get the Steam Vents. Not gonna pay shock. What do we draw? It's a Visions. Dope. What do we got? Is it good? It's a Tarfire. Thought Scour gives us more Delver Scry. This is gonna transform Delver. Don't think we need another one of these. We're not gonna Scour yet. Okay. A little longer, and we can do this. We have 32 cards left in our deck. That's not a lot of cards. We usually don't get there against control decks. This is quite the standoff. No one has good attacks. This is like a green mid-range mirror in what I assume Standard is like. I wouldn't know because I haven't played Standard since Cons rotated. Specifically Fate Reforged because I had Kolagon the Storm's Fury in my deck. And once Kolagon rotated, my deck was hot garbage because it was like a $20 Standard deck. And it was just a bunch of bad red and black cards. That's so good. That is so good. We might actually scour away the Tarfire now. How good is Tarfire? Tribal grows Tarmogoyf. Does Tribal actually grow Tarmogoyf? Oh my lord. Tribal grows Tarmogoyf. Can we have an 8/9? Artifact, instant, land, sorcery, enchantment, creature. That's 6. What do they have? We have a 6/7 so far. No, it's just going to be a 7/8. Oh, we may as well get rid of it. It's just going to take out Hierarch, but Hierarch's not that scary. Snapcaster Mage is straight fire. Tribal grows Goyf, but it doesn't grow it enough. I wanted an 8/9 so we could push through these Thought Knots. Snap Traverse, get another Tarmogoyf? That might be the play. Snap Simic Charm. Straight up blow you out. We also grow the Goyf just by milling it, so that's fine. Misty, we probably don't even bother playing. Do we attack here? I think we attack here. If they don't block, they're dead, because we have Snap Bolt. If they do block, we Snap Simic Charm, and we laugh at their puny 4/4s. They chump, that's fine. Let's get another Tarmogoyf, shall we? Traverse. Cast that. Pay green. Can I get a Goyf? Do we want Nux? I think we don't. We have Tarmogoyf in our deck. I like Savage Knuckleblade against Eldrazi because it can grow to a 6/6, which is really relevant against Smasher when your Goyf isn't a 5/6. But you know what? When you got 2 7/8 Goyfs, I don't think we care about big Nux. Hot damn. That feels great. Almost 8/9. We need a Planeswalker. So close. So close to the holy grail of Tarmogoyfs. Look at me. I'm complaining that we have 2 mana 7/8s. That's how spoiled I am. This card's great. In all its glory. They are understandably in the tank. I would not want to be in their position. Then again, they're playing Eldrazi, so, you know? Do we have sympathy for Eldrazi players? I guess a little bit. They're still human. They just choose to have Eldrazi Temple in their deck and try to get Thought-Knot Seer on turn 2. And Noble Hierarch, so they're basically doing the Bant Eldrazi thing. 3, is this an Obligator? Oh dear, we might be dead. Are we actually dead? They take Tarmogoyf, we chump Tarmogoyf, we're dead. We're dead. They did it. They did it, that's amazing. Good for them. Is there any universe in which you shouldn't just get the Tarmogoyf? I guess you could just have Snapbolt up. That doesn't seem great, but I guess that's what you're actually supposed to do there. Well, now I feel really bad that I gave them a 7-8. That was pretty awesome on their part. You know what? We probably would have taken this if we didn't misplay that first Tarmogoyf. All comes back to that. We should have gotten a green source. We go to -1. Good on them. They beat 2 7-8s. Alright, against Eldrazi, I like Huntmaster because it clogs up the board. Basilisk Collar does nasty things to their fatties, and life gain is great. I kind of like Pyroclasm and Anger against this deck specifically, because they do run a bunch of small dudes. Spreading Sea is going to help with hitting the mana. Let's get all of these. You too, Huntmaster. Don't be shy. Don't know if I actually want Anger, but Pyroclasm seems great. What do we board out? Non-zero amount of Mandrills. That's great, that's great. Thought Scours, probably. Forked Bolt is excellent. We're going to cut at least one of those. Spell Snare, please leave. Mana Leak can go too. Maybe we keep one Mana Leak. Could be. It's not the worst. If they have a Cavern, it's going to be pretty bad. I definitely want all my bolts. They're a Mana Dork deck. They have a bunch of 3-1s and 3-2s. Bolt goes to face. Roast, Dismember, Simic Charm, all excellent. Maybe we just keep the Mandrills, but I kind of don't like that. We have enough creatures as is. Let's submit this. We're going to give it a go. Hopefully we can come back from that. Maybe we should have played around Obligator. To be fair, we could have just held up Snapcaster Mage unless we needed it. Which means we could have still had Snap Traverse Goyf on the table for next turn. I don't know. Maybe you just go for it and hope they don't hit Obligator. We're going to be on the play. This hand is great. Goyf dies to Bolt. But we also might just Blood Moon sometime soon, and we have a Roast. Roast probably better on the draw than it is the play. But still, I think this is a very keepable hand, and I think we should keep it. Knock on wood, we can still pull out that 3-2. We're going to lead on this tapped. Wouldn't mind finding my third land. Well, we have a Stomping Ground tapped mirror. Oh, sweet. This grows Tarmogoyf. Mishra's Bauble is a great card. Hooting Mandrills, I think we're still going to shuffle it away. We gave ourselves the option, but I think I'd still rather just have the Goyf in play. It's always good to give yourself the option, though, because more options means the chance for upside. If we plan on playing Tarmogoyf anyways, we may as well find out if we shouldn't play Tarmogoyf. And it looks like they're on a bit of a slow start not having an Eldrazi Temple. I've only played against this deck, I think, 2 other times. Once on stream, once in tournament practice, offline. Well, I guess not offline because I'm playing MTGO, but not recorded. And I'm pretty sure every time they just had Eldrazi Temple by turn 2. Which is really good. What do we got? Something to roast? It's an Eldrazi... Oh, it's a Dismember. Well, joke's on you, opponent. We just stacked our deck with Tarmogoyfs. That's the trick to winning these creature mirrors. Just draw a lot of Tarmogoyfs. Don't really like that they can Thought Knot away our Roast if they have it. Is this another Dismember? No, it's a Scooze. Pretty sure we just kill that with Extreme Prejudice. I'm going to get this Pyroclasm out of my hand because Roast is good against Smasher, even if Thought Knot probably just takes it away from us. I did not know they play Scavenging Ooze. Cool. If they have Simian Spirit Guide plus Bolt, we're a little sad about that, but you know what? Sorcery, hitting the bin, 5/6 Goyf. It's what we do. We can't roast that. But we do have Mana Leak up for things that aren't Eldrazi, which really isn't that great. Mana Leak's just not very good in this matchup. Assuming we go to Game 3, knock on wood, I think we're going to board out that Mana Leak. I mean, they don't have that many caverns. They probably run 4, which is what you would run, but they have Ancient Stirrings to try to find it. Here's an uncounterable Eldrazi. They're not taking our Tarmogoyf, but they might just want to chump with that. You know what? We might just roast that. Roast the Obligator. Knock them down to 1. That seems like something I would enjoy. Makes Bolt lethal. Simic Charm. Do we just attack and hope they don't block? There's no way they're not blocking. We're going to roast this. I think anyone in their right mind makes that block. They've seen Tarfire. They've probably seen Forked Bolt. They have an uncounterable Smasher here. They've seen... What else have they seen so far? Well, Lightning Bolt, obviously, which we're probably playing 4 of since we're a red Delver deck. Thought Knot, sure. What do you even take? Simic Charm? I could see taking Simic Charm. Nothing good. Nothing good. The fact that they have that Birds of Paradise untapped means they're not dead. That's good for them. Bolt still lethal off the top. All 7 of our Bolt effects. Yeah, that's not bad. What do we got? Flooded Strand. Snap Roast? Can't snap Roast. Can't snap anything. We probably just slam Savage Knuckleblade, or just putting it out there, we're going to swing first. Give them the option of what they want to chump with, because they might chump with that Bird of Paradise. Birds of Paradise is weird because it's exactly 1 bird. So the plural is still Birds of Paradise. Because when you want to plural a word like that, if it was Bird of Paradise, you would say Birds of Paradise instead of Bird of Paradises. But it's already Birds of Paradise. So maybe Flock of Birds of Paradise? I'm not sure. We can slam Nux, which is good. We have 2 Blood Moons. What are they doing? Bolting Face? Sure. Okay, they just wanted to tap for completeness sake. I kind of want to slam Savage Knuckleblade. I kind of also just want to play Blood Moon because it means... Oh, they don't have any colorless sources here. We're playing Blood Moon. Get an island. Slam this. Any land means we have Snap Roast. They're going to be hard-pressed to cast anything now that the bird's gone. They have... I mean... Thought Knot doesn't cost colored mana, but you need colorless, and these all produce red. Smasher, likewise. We can't cast that Goyf, but you know what? We're going to draw another card here. And I don't hate that. Dismember gets us pretty well. Oh, they can't cast Dismember. Sometimes I'm a little slow like that. We're going to play this. Think I want to know what they're drawing, plus we might just draw something great. Grove of the Burn Willows, that does not scare me. We may very well flash in a Snapcaster Mage on the end step here. We can't counter that, so that's fine. Serum Visions. Wish I drew that last turn. If they don't play anything, we're flashing in Snapcaster. They can play Obligator. That's something. We're going to play this just in case they don't have an answer. Snapcaster Mage basically says bolt or die, so... Yep. The answer was die. Do we want to change how we boarded? Mana Leak. This felt bad. Even if you deal with Cavern or they don't have it, sometimes you just can't hold up the mana. Think I'd rather just have a couple stubborn denials to deal with the likes of Dismember and Lightning Bolt. Feels better. What do we want to board in? It might be this Mandrills. I kind of just want a Thought Scour to smooth out the deck a little bit. We're going to run it, see how we do. Match 5, Game 3, thrilling conclusion. And then I get to go have lunch. If you guys missed any earlier part of the stream, you can find my stuff on YouTube. You can just search my Twitch name on YouTube, it'll come up, although technically instead of an underscore, it's a space in my channel name on YouTube, but that doesn't matter. You can also find, I'll have uploaded this probably by the end of the day, maybe tomorrow, to the YouTube channel. You can find my old stuff and my future stuff if you miss future streams. I play probably a league every week, sometimes every 2 weeks if I'm busy, but usually more than that because it's hard to stay away from Magic. I pretty exclusively play this deck. I do have another version I tinker with that runs Chart a Course and Disrupting Shoal. I don't like it quite as much as this list, but I do enjoy casting a Disrupting Shoal every now and then. So it ain't the worst. It definitely needs a lot of work because I have not played it for probably a month or two, definitely not since the recent unbannings. So this is absolutely not what I'm going to play the next time I play this list, but it is something that I do. I also threw together a Countercat list just to try it out, but I have played very little Countercat, and I'm not good at it, so I doubt it's going to be on the stream anytime soon. This hand looks good. We're going to keep. Turn 1 Delver, turn 2 Goyf. That ain't bad. It ain't great, but it ain't bad. Mountain. We're probably going to grab an island here so that we have Blood Moon mana. Cast this Delver of Secrets. Probably just going to eat a Lightning Bolt off of a Stomping Ground, but you know what? If you don't cast your Delvers, you're never going to know if they'll connect. Forest, there you go. They want to play around Blood Moon because we showed them a basic island, and that's another fun thing you can do with Blood Moon. If you have the Blood Moon, often you don't want to fetch out your basics until the last minute, so that the opponent doesn't think to play around it. Sorry, that's if you do have the Blood Moon. If you don't have the Blood Moon, sometimes it's really fun to just fetch your basics as soon as possible and watch them squirm. I don't want to play Goyf out here because it dies to Bolt. I kind of want to have Simic Charm up. This is going to be a big pain. I think we're going to play out the Misty just so that we're a little closer to casting that Hooting Mandrills in hand if they don't put a card type in the bin that is not land or instant. If this is a Thought Knot, I'm going to be pretty sad. 2 mana? 3 for Bloodbraid Elf. That's going to make for a fun Pyroclasm. Yeah, it will. I think we're going to be Pyroclasming in the very near future. Reshaper's still a 2 for 1, but at least we deal with the Bloodbraid Elf half of it. We're going to take 3. Do we want to bounce the Reshaper? Probably not. Don't want to crack that Misty yet, because it's probably just getting a basic forest, and we still have Delver Scry. It's a Thought Scour. I will reveal it. I don't know if I want to draw it. I do want to get in for 3. We get in for 3. It's a darn shame that we can't Pyroclasm plus Goyf. I think we're going to draw the Thought Scour. Swing with the Aberration. We might not Pyroclasm here. We might just see if we can get this Tarmogoyf to bigger than a 2-3. I want a basic forest. I'm gonna do that. See if we turn over a sorcery, a creature, artifact creature. We did it. Slam this Goyf. That should hold them off long enough for us to have a decent Pyroclasm. Aberration's still gonna die. They might just kill our Goyf with a Dismember. This might be a Reality Smasher, which means we're gonna be taking 5, which definitely not a good thing, but you know, we deal with that as it comes. We milled 1 Huntmaster, but there's still 1 in the deck. Get rid of these reveals off of Delver, because I don't want to see them. Don't want that confusing us if we hit the other bauble. Little unfortunate that we don't have another green source for that Traverse, but I think I'd rather have the Blood Moon mana. Even if we draw a Blood Moon, there's almost no chance we're casting it, since it's not going to do a lot of work here. It's basically going to be 3 mana. Each player can only cast 1 to 2 spells a turn, and I just don't want to pay the tempo for that. It's not worth it. If this is a Thought-Knot Seer, it is. I could see them taking the Simic Charm. I could also see Pyroclasm going. Regardlessly, Delver, Aberration, going to do a lot of work here. It's just a nice clock. It is a very nice clock. If they have land plus Bolt, they can deal with it. But man, Delver is a 1-drop. That's for sure. Not nearly as well respected as the Goblin Guide. Probably has a better reputation than the Wild Nicodle. I would assume it has a better reputation than the Wild Nicodle. I don't think a lot of people play Nicodle these days. It doesn't have good attacks. Too many fatties in the format. You got Thought-Knot Seer, you got Goyf, you got Death Shadow, Gurmag Angler, what else? They got rid of Simic Charm because that deals, at least temporarily, with the Thought-Knot. Also could save Delver from a top-decked Bolt if they don't have one yet. Makes sense. Pyroclasm also costs us pretty dearly in addition to hurting them. Spreading Seas. We can turn off that forest. Good in conjunction with Blood Moon. Bad without it. I want to attack with the Aberration. Goyf's going to stay on blocking duty. Don't think I want to pull the trigger on that Pyroclasm. Kind of want to slam that Mandrills, which means we probably Traverse here. I'm leaning towards Huntmaster, but they have a lot of ways to deal with it. Tarmogoyf might be the better choice. We're going to go with Tarmogoyf. Spreading Seas, their forest, I think. Doesn't really matter, I just want to draw a card. Excuse me. Huntmaster, cool. We might not be playing that Goyf next turn. Then again, 5/6. If they Obligator, we're going to take a lot of damage. I do not like Eldrazi Obligator. That card's great. I think we have to Pyroclasm soon. We can Pyroclasm plus Goyf. I think that's the play. I want to insulate myself a little more from the Obligator. Please don't have it. They do. They're going to take our Goyf. Then what? We're going to take 5, 9. We're dead. We're dead again. Obligator. Bam. It's that good. Maybe we should have Pyroclasmed him sooner? I don't know. I really don't. I think that's the lesson here. Pyroclasm sooner. We're super dead thanks to that Obligator. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, that's unfortunate. -3. GG's opponent. Gotta play around Obligator more, it looks like. Well, that means we at least got better against the red-green Eldrazi matchup, because we're learning how to play against it more, so that's a good thing. We 2-3'd, which means we get nothing, but that's okay. We're going to be going offline in just a moment, but quick recap. Here's the list. If you guys want to find me on Twitch, well, you already did. Congratulations. Good job. If you want to know when I stream, hit the follow button. I'm going to try to stream once every 1 or 2 weeks. Maybe just record a league for YouTube exclusively once every 1 or 2 weeks as well. I want to stream more. It's kind of fun. I like it. So I'm going to try to do more streaming than recording. Up to now, I've mostly just recorded and thrown videos on YouTube. I think I want to do more of this, though, since they end up on YouTube anyways. So I'm going to try to stream more when I can. It's going to be on YouTube anyway, so if you guys want to find it on YouTube after, MNES space MTG, search pretty much any combination of that, and you will find me. It's pretty unique. That's my YouTube channel. If you guys missed some of this and you want to catch the rest of it, head over there. If you want to see my future stuff in case you miss a stream, if you want to see my past stuff, because I have something like 20 leagues, if you include the Shoal version of the deck, already up on YouTube. So if you're interested in Delver and you don't mind seeing matches in which Jason Bloodbraid are not legal, head over there. I'm pretty confident we should have Pyroclasmed on that previous turn when we Spreading Seized. We could have gone Traverse, get a Goyf, Pyroclasm, gets rid of our Delver, but that's probably the right play. Yeah, I like that much better. That's what we should have done. Well, we learned. Both of those losses that match were to Obligator, so there's that. Anyways, here's the list. I like it a lot. I'm sure there are flex slots that might not be great. Roast, Dismember, Nux might not even be that good. Obsession. So far, I like them all. The 7th Burn Spell maybe could go. Maybe you want fewer counters, maybe you want more. Deprive Click, both cards I haven't played with much. Spreading Seas I'm a little iffy on, but I want to kill Tron. The rest of it I'm pretty happy with. Basilisk Collar's a pretty new addition, but so far when I've drawn it, I've liked it a lot. Other decks you can probably expect to see on this channel. Chart and Shoal, a more tempo-esque Delver deck, seeking to use Disrupting Shoal to get a nice tempo advantage over decks, and use Chart, of course, to recoup the card disadvantage, and maybe just grind it out in the late game over control decks. Other than that, it's very similar to the Traverse list that you just saw. Fewer creatures because it wants to transform Delver more readily, and it doesn't care to have as good top decks because it just wants to go right out of the gate get you. For that reason, I don't actually like it as much, because I like my top decks a lot against mid-range and control. It's the reason I play Traverse the Ulvenwald. It gives you very good top decks. Traverse, Shoal, and Bauble can't really be played all together, though, because then you're not really supporting your Shoal, so you can't really have Traverse to have great top decks if you're running Disrupting Shoal for the early game tempo. So there's that. I might play Countercat in the future, but I probably want to work on the Chart and Shoal deck before I get there. I also am going to want to play this not recorded for a little more before I give it a go, because I'm still quite bad with this. And that's pretty well it for decks that you can expect to see on here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream or video if you're watching this on YouTube. And I apologize for that egregious misplay again. Game 1 in that 5th match where we searched out a mountain so that we could play our Tarmogoyf without tapping for green. Because that's how you want to play Tarmogoyfs. Anyways, thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next one. Probably in a week or so. See you guys later.